One of the things that surprised me was the lack of you within this campaign. And I would have thought after the campaign against The Voice, which you were integral in making work. I mean, this is an issue that turned from 60-40 for to 60-40 against. You campaigned hard. You were a large part of that. I would have expected to see you put forward as a big campaigner in this election. But for some reason, you weren't that visible. Why was that?
Yeah, look, there are those of us, I think, who would have liked to have taken, a bit more of a prominent position with the campaign. Obviously, the focus is always on the leadership in terms of, who are we arguing to be the best Prime Minister in the country, who will be the best leader of this country. And that was a fight between Peter Dutton and, of course, Anthony Albanese as well. Another really interesting factor I think we need to consider is just the effectiveness of Advance and their campaign. The fact that they've almost wiped out the Greens in the lower house. And we have to understand that sort of effectiveness because, a lot of that was used throughout the referendum campaign as well. There's a lot that we have to consider going forward, and obviously, convening with our colleagues to have those conversations and really learn from where our mistakes were.
You say some of us would have liked to have done more. Were you instructed not to talk too much?
Look, I think, largely what we were trying to do also was get out and about and be amongst Australians and engage with Australians on the ground and to get our message across to them more personally, I guess was certainly part of what our strategy was as well going forward.
Can I ask, I feel like, and I can't see any way that this is actually a major endorsement of Anthony Albanese, because if you look at his record, I don't think anyone was rushing out to the ballot box to say, yippee, he's the best Prime Minister we've ever had. But was it essentially a message from Australia that Peter Dutton is unelectable? Was Peter Dutton an unelectable opposition leader?
Well, again, I think it goes back to the fact that they smeared Peter. I mean, Peter's been smeared for years, even though largely with the responsibilities he's had previously, he's done his best to look after and protect Australians ultimately. But, they came at him from every single angle, from, his appearance to, a lot to do with his appearance, but also the fact that they try to make him out to be some sort of aggressive, horrible individual, when we all know, those of us that know him, that he is not that individual. But the Prime Minister targeted him. Labor targeted Peter Dutton. They absolutely were deceitful throughout all of their campaign. I mean, the Prime Minister stood there during the last debate and said, yes, he had broken his word. And apparently you can break your word to the Australian people, you can go back on things, you can not deliver a single promise, and you can lie to the Australian people, but as long as you sling mud at the opposition leader, you can effectively come out and be successful and win an election.
Just finally, Senator, who would you like to see as the next leader of the Liberal Party?
Well, obviously that's a decision for the Liberal Party to make amongst themselves. That they've got a lot to do. They've got a lot of. They've got to reconvene. They've got to gather themselves again. I certainly, I absolutely wish them luck going forward and in making that decision. There's a few contenders, obviously, and for us in the Nationals party room, I mean, it's bittersweet, obviously, because we have maintained our seats, and at least we can take with us the fact that we know that we are representing regional Australia, and the hopes and dreams of regional Australia, and we'll continue to fight for that going forward. We're not backing down now, and for me, my fire has just been stoked a hell of a lot more.
As well it should, and as you mentioned before, gave it a red-hot go in Bendigo as well, which was quite extraordinary. I hope for your sake and the Nationals' sake that your coalition partner can get the proverbial together. Jacinta Nampijinpa Price, thank you so much for joining me.